Hey everybody, welcome to the 1804 show, chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is episode 21. Um, I just wanted to come up on here and give y'all like a brief message. So many people just have no idea what consists of a person that got it out the mud and a person who had things handed to them. And it's quite funny because my story is really deep. My story is what made me a champion. And I'm not ashamed of what I've been through and what I had learned along the way. And sometimes you gotta go through tragedy so you can get through trauma. And everybody who have ever has slept on you, doubted you, counted you out, it's just one of those things that's brilliant. It's amazing when you come out of certain things, especially when you had to do it on your own. And I was telling somebody this story last night about why I went to Job Corps and why I had to leave Michigan, leave my hometown for a better life. And it's to this day, it's still like amazing because I never thought that I would be in that position. But sometimes God just call on you. We can pray to God all day, but at the end of the day, you got to put in the work. You got to be that risk taker. Because when you believe in God, you also got to believe in yourself that you can overcome anything, any situation, any obstacle. And I was able to go somewhere that I never been, didn't have no family. I didn't have no friends, didn't have nobody there. I just knew that wherever I was going, I knew that when I came back, I wasn't going to be the same person. It's just fortunate that I'm able to have a platform and to help people and enlighten people, incite people. But what's the use of having this opportunity and this responsibility when you're ashamed of your past? And I never been ashamed of my past. I never been ashamed where I came from because I always knew that I was going to be a success. I just had to find my lane, but I was going to be successful because no matter what, failure is not an option. But it's just amazing how, sorry guys, had a phone call, but it's just amazing how these 10 years has consist of um, persevering and redeeming myself and being able to look myself in the mirror and should say that I became the man that nobody taught me how to be. And it's just amazing. I don't take nothing for granted. everything that I learned along the way, and I'm still learning. It's just one of those things that you look back and you just smile and you just be so proud if nobody else is proud of you. Because us as black men, we have to feel important by the material things that we possesses that we can offer to some of our male friends and mostly women. We got to have these chains and these cars, these clothes to feel like we're valued, that we worth something. I know my worth. I know that I'm a king. I know that I'm a god as well. And it's just amazing that I am able to accept who I am. Yeah, bro, that's true. And I'm no longer seeking approval from anybody. If anything, I'm seeking happiness and learning how to maintain it. Because once you are able to find out who you are, you're not going to put yourself in any predicaments that requires you to lose yourself or tolerate any type of abuse, whether if it's emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, psychological. Your tolerance will be at zero after that. And that's why it's really important that we discover self love, self preservation, not self doubt, and not seeking pity out of nobody. Because whether you realize it or not, everybody's temporary. Nobody's permanent, not even family these days. Because we all gonna die. Nobody lives forever. Only thing that lasts forever is what you put into what you do. Whether if it's family, well, your family, uh, and I say like wife, kids, not even your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, relatives, but your wife, kids, you know. And I learned that the long way that you can't change nobody. You can't make nobody love you like you love them because everybody, unfortunately, is entitled to love the pickings of their choosing. But you just got to know where you stand and play your position. But I realized when I was broke, when I didn't have no money, no dollar to my name, how I was such a free spirit, how happy I was, no worries, how I was able to roam in the wilderness, like with no consequences involved. But when you start working and get your car, get your crib, and get things, it's like more money, more problems, right? So when money comes, it comes fake friends, it comes opportunists, it comes people to stab you in the back, it comes with a whole lot of nonsense and mess. And it just, when you don't know the game and you don't know the rules of the game, it's going to put you in a bad spot because everybody doesn't have loyalty or that realness or that authenticity like you do. We was all raised differently. So what you stand by, the next person don't stand by. And you got to be careful with that. Because some people be around you so they can use you. And yeah, it's my boy Riley, man. Been knowing him since Arthur Hill. Cool guy. Yeah, yeah, real shit, man. I respect that. You always been a standout guy, man. But but what I was saying was, it's just nowadays you just have to be careful of which how much time and who you put your time with, because time is something that we can't never get back, and we got to be very cautious with our time. We got to start picking ourselves first, because it's important that we pick ourselves first every time in any situation, because people will disappear and then people will create excuse me, but people will create this false narrative like you turned on them and betrayed them, stabbed them in the back without taking any accountability for your falling out. And I'm just grateful that all the lessons that I learned along the way. And I'm a good man. I'm happy. This is no facade. This is no mask that I wear. This is real. And it doesn't matter where you start. It's all about where you're going and how you finish. We all been through something. We all have sad stories, but nobody cares. We on our own, man. Black man, we on our own. Every man out there, we on our own, because we expected to deal with things on our own. We don't have support systems, healing circles, none of that. Because people act like that we don't go through things and that we don't have emotions, we don't have things that we want to accomplish, that we ain't trying to pave the way for the next generation. Because we're the OGs now. And a lot of young people looking at us for guidance. And me being a godfather now, it just allows me to realize that I have to be around. So I'm finna make sure that I stay around as long as I can. I can't predict the future. I can't predict the weather, but all I can say that I can try. And I have been trying to really grow, really go through a metamorphosis, as they say. But I've just really been trying to grow into my full potential. So, but yeah, I came from a broken home, you know what I'm saying? A happy home too, but mainly a broken home where I didn't really learn or knew what love was like that. I had to go find it. And that's one of those things that you don't want to do is go and find love, because it can be dangerous. It can be quite hazardous as well when you gotta go seek it in places that has no love in them, whether if it's the streets or toxic relationships, lust, everything, you know. So we have to be smart with knowing what we want out of life. Because when you know what you want out of life, it won't be so difficult. It won't be a tug of war when you go on this journey. Because it's real life, man. This is reality. And everybody's reality different. You know, everybody doesn't live the same life, but we all have to walk the same surface. You know, we have different perspectives, we have different um, viewpoints, but that's cool because that's what makes us human. But there's a positive in every negative situation. Um, Whether you know it or not, it's always just one of those things that you just is able to learn something. And for example, you know, Jerry Springer is well known for the fights, the crazy storylines, the nudity, um, toxicity. But what I always liked about Jerry Springer at the end of every episode is that he used to give a final thought, and it would be words of encouragement. You know, that's the thing that will always would get overlooked every episode of the Jerry Springer show. But I would say this. I would say that regardless of what's going on and what you do and how you perceive things, it's always a light at the end of every tunnel. And just being able to take back your life is one of the most beautiful things ever. And realize that you're responsible for your happiness, nobody else. And when you are willing to put the work in. So I just want to end this episode with no matter what, don't give up. Keep going, stay strong, and stay encouraged. Peace, y'all.